thrust set. 5500. 31. Rotate.
I had a laugh. Who was it? Who was laughing? Who said that? Who said it? Because I declared an emergency with no controller on. Caleb Greenlee, dude. I'm sitting here thinking about what I'm going to say for the intro, and then you just pop off. Yes. Man, we got a lot to talk about. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Glad to have you here on this, what is it, Wednesday? I spent my entire day yesterday jump seating around the country, then driving, then jump seating, so I am still recovering mentally. But I'm glad to be back here in the V1 HQ here in South Georgia, coming at you live from Phoenix Sky Harbor in the lovely Fenix A320. It's going to be a fun one. I'm testing out a couple things. So we've got our frame generation on, which has been absolutely fantastic. And then we also have, I'm running another mod on the side to adjust some things. We'll see. Frames should be absolutely juicy. But we have a lot to talk about. If you were in the Discord, you probably saw, yes, I have been banned from VATSIM. So we'll talk about that. Let me get some shout outs in here. Thank you. Well, I love all the with yous in chat. It's pretty funny. Andy, good to see you. Throttle Hold, the McAllen. Jasper's here. Brian Starks. Andy, Mike P. Good to see you, sir. How you doing? Mike P, I'm about to open up that channel too. I got to make some announcements for the Discord. I'm going to restructure some things, but you can expect a DM from me here pretty soon, Mike. Tom Pasco's in the house. Dale Ferrier. Gustavo, good to see you. Yes, buzzing the tower. Probably shouldn't have done that. Zach Lewine, Tiger Dude. Bosco's in the house. Havoc is here. Geez, there's a lot of you here already. We're 250 people already. Geez, Zach Lewine, Anik, Kieran Anderson, Thrust Set. Good to see you, my friend. Aaron is in the house. Always a pleasure. Mr. Irish Lad himself. Good to see you. Mysterious Mr. T, Chuck, Blake, Jared, and Newton. Christy Ionscu. And if I missed your name, I missed you. Tyson's here. Tyson, you back from Mexico yet? Good to see you, man. Good to see you. UT, Jets, Cowboys, Rest, and now a VATSIM ban. Happy New Year, V1. Havoc. Man, University of Texas lost. Jets suck. The Cowboys refs are interesting. And now a VATSIM ban all within the first, 3 days of the new year. Good way to put it, Havoc. Good to see you. All right, guys, let's get into the meat and potatoes real quick. We'll talk about it here in a little bit up at Cruise. But yes, because you're all going to ask, are we going to talk about the JAL 516 to Japan? Yeah, we'll talk about it a little bit. No, I'm not making a video, so stop sending me DMs about making videos on the Japan Airlines 350 that crashed. Not going to do it. You can go find that content elsewhere. This is a flight simulation channel here. This is flight simulation. I do flight simulation. We talk about things safety. We have got our in-flight entertainment with the Green Dot videos, which I think are fantastic. You know, Green Dot has a dedicated channel to aircraft investigation and study, so that's totally fine in my book. But for me to just make a video on an accident that I have really nothing, I'm not involved in it. I don't need to profiteer off the lives of 5 dead Coast Guardsmen in Japan. So rest in peace to those that lost their life in that accident. I know many are celebrating the fact that nobody was injured on that 350, which I totally agree. It is a absolute miracle that no one was killed on the A350. But at the end of the day, there are still 5, I'm assuming men, could be some women in there. I don't know the makeup of the crew. But regardless, there's still 5 people that are not going to be going home to their families. So it's a sad day. The response, the evacuation of the 350 was obviously incredible. But that's pretty much all we'll talk about. We'll talk about, maybe some things about the night ops and lining up, whatever, once we get to Cruise. But for the most part, we're not here for that today. Liam, starting off the channel, though, with a bang, though. Appreciate the 10 gifted subs, my friend. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate the 10 gifted memberships to the channel. If you pick up a membership, make sure you say thank you. I got to turn up my sim sounds. I just realized they were way down there. Here we go. So, Liam, I appreciate that. Let me go ahead and pause the alert box here so we don't have to ding through those, but I appreciate the support. All right. Also, the other thing we need to talk about, how could I forget? You'll notice there's no VATSIM traffic next to me. That is because I have also apparently been banned from VATSIM. So an account that I've been running for almost 5 years now decides to get banned. I have my theories of why. Basically, I submitted a compliment report to the last controller. So I complimented our flight down to Aruba. The controller did a fantastic job handling all those heavies going in there. And I guess when I submitted a report, some supervisor or something did not like my account and my account name. So we'll get into that in a little bit in Cruise after we get the airplane fired up. But I'll explain why I think I'm banned, and do I care? Honestly, no. I do the VATSIM thing mostly for y'all. You like to fly along with me. I have had a lot of ideas to making videos and helping people get into VATSIM, but at this point I'm kind of like, meh. I listen to the real radio in real life all the time. It can actually save probably I can save some tinnitus for the future VATSIM microphones that have just been absolutely popping when guys don't have their mic set up correctly anyway. So it's yeah, we got a lot to talk about on this stream. So Zach, here's the thing. The account, real quick, I have to try to do some account recovery. So since that account was over 5 years old, being a public figure, I guess if you call it that, as a streamer, I have a separate email account that I use for everything that's not that everything is related to the internet, right? So it's basically, it's a legitimate alias. It has an email account, has all the stuff set up with it, but it's been 5 years. And I got a new phone and phone number in 2022. So my phone number recovery to that email goes to my old number, which I do not have access to. So you could see the predicament I'm in as far as trying to log in and actually see if there's any messages. But, if there's any VATSIM officials in the chat, please send me an email to my latest email account, the V1 Simulations, on my YouTube page. If you can send me an email there, then I'll be able to either respond, if there was even an email. But that's my problem right now, is I got to try to figure out another way to recover that email account, because it goes to the phone number, which I no longer have. So that is a problem. Anyway, Dan Len, thank you for the $10 super chat, man. I appreciate you. Too many trolls on VATSIM lately as well. There's been some trolling. You know, honestly, I got to say, and I appreciate everybody that flies along with me, and I think the trolling has been very minimal on my streams. You know, I can't speak for other content creators. I know I've seen it happen on other streams where people just troll and be childish, and it's absolutely unnecessary. Some really negative, nasty things I see every now and then when I watch other streamers and the people that want to troll on VATSIM. It's just disgusting. But for me personally, we haven't had too much of that, so I thank you. But who knows? Maybe it's one of y'all in the chat that just, you know, has an axe to grind with me, which, you know, if you're not making enemies, then you're not doing anything right. So that's a good thing. Matthew Presley, I appreciate you. Says, last thing I want to do is listen to more ATC on my days off. I feel the same way, Matthew Presley. I feel the same way. Alexander says VATSIM has been downhill anyways. Bunch of young kids trolls. They don't take it seriously. Forget about them. Hey, I'm kind of in that same boat, man. Like I had some plan. I really wanted to create some radio ethics and like tutorial and helping people and making it a better place. That was going to be one of the main goals for 2024. Is I wanted to make a difference in the level of confidence people have on the network. But start off with a ban. I mean, I'm just like, meh. Maybe I should extend an olive branch to our friends over at Pilot Edge and see what they got going on. I've never was banned from Pilot Edge. You know, I got to hand it to them. We went back and forth on a message board back in the day after a controversial experience going into Oakland. I made a video about it. Poked the bear on that one. But they never banned me, so you got to hand it to them. You know, I straight up made a video saying that this was not cool, and they still never banned me. So, I mean, maybe we experiment a little bit on Pilot Edge. Anyway, enough of that. We've got more to talk about. I will talk about that in detail once we get to cruise. But today, ladies and gentlemen, let's enjoy this Fenix A320. Now, I wish we had the IEs out there for you. I really do. We don't have the IEs today, but we've got frame generation mod, and my frames are absolutely ripping. We have another mod that I'm using to help kind of assist in that frame generation mod. I cannot confirm nor deny what mod that is, but if you've been around the YouTubes lately, you probably know what it is. And unfortunately, I don't have my Mobi flight working for the Mini FCU and the Fenix yet. It still works. I'm having a hard time getting it loaded up to show the values in the Mini FCU, but I'm going to work on that a little bit later. I didn't have a whole lot of time. I was hoping I'd have more time before the stream started to work on that, but maybe that'll come in the coming weeks. Anyway. You are the king of butting heads in the flight sim world. VATSIM, Pilot Edge, Flight Factor. Who's next? Tom Pasco, you're right, man. Hey, got to make waves, though. You got to make waves. I'm not going to be one to just bend over and take it all the time. So we got to, if you're not making waves, then you're not even trying, right? So anyway, here we go. Fenix to GSX. Tyson, I did not fire it up on this one for reasons that I'm trying something else new. And my theory is whenever I try something new, especially on a stream, I want to minimize multiple new things at once. So since I hadn't used Fenix to GSX with it on a test, I didn't want to use it on a stream because who knows, you know, I didn't test it, so it's unverified. I'm sure it would have been fine, but no Fenix to GSX on this one. But here we go. Let's go ahead and fire it up from the top. Here we go. Battery 1, battery 2, looking for 25.6 volts or greater, which we have. That's coming online. It's been a long time since we've flown the Fenix, so this is actually kind of refreshing. I want to make sure the sounds are up nice. Just became 100 like. Thank you. I appreciate that. Note to self, complimenting controller equals a ban. Well, Fries, that's not necessarily what it was. It was because I complimented the controller. My profile then is obviously looked at by whoever receives that on the receiving end. And I guess that person then realized, well, I don't like this. So, man. And who knows? They could have sent me warning emails, but because I don't ever log into that email account and now I'm working on recovery, it's like I don't know for sure what the ban reason was for. I'm assuming that's what it was for, even though I don't know how it's illegal. I know you're supposed to use your real name, but can't you use a legitimate like alien? I mean, I know people that go by other names all the time. It was not like a profanity or anything. It has a legit email, has a legit number attached to it. It's all legit. So I'm assuming that was it, but who knows? Maybe they didn't like it when we buzzed the tower. No, we never buzzed the tower. The crew got together and we decided that it's all Phantom's fault for not making the radio calls. That could be it too. That definitely could be it. Phantom is always to blame. All right, up on the overhead. Now, one thing I want y'all to pay a little attention to is see if the transitioning between views is a little bit smoother. So I noticed with frame gen, that was one of the drawbacks, is when I was doing frame generation, every time I switch views, you still get that like chop between views, and then it stabilizes. This, at least on my end, seems to kind of alleviated that, but we shall see here. The true test will be going into Los Angeles today, the INI KLAX scenery, which I absolutely love. So we'll see how the frames handle. That's another, you got to have your system set up properly for flying into LAX when you go in there, especially streaming. May I ask what gate? I think I'm at Bravo 6 or 8, I believe. I can't recall. I'm on the B terminal here, but let's go nav position 1. That's going to go there. We'll arm those. Everything looks good here. Let's do a fire test. Piss somebody off with a low fuel call in Aruba. Fire number 2. Blue Bear says, "Don't worry, V1. I'm sure we can get you. I'm sure we can get a loaded cake to your cell to assist you with your breakout." I know. I'm gonna have to make an emoji, free V1, like it's got to be an emoji with like the VATSIM logo and then like free V1 with behind bars or something. So one time, this is a quick story time. It's not aviation related. Probably shouldn't even say it. In high school, one of the guys we know, he actually ended up being a Marine and was like honorably discharged. Fantastic human, but he did something allegedly that he actually didn't do. I mean, he didn't make the best decisions, but he was essentially he had to go to juvie, the juvenile detention center, and so basically the entire class made free Steve-O shirts with his name behind bars, and we were all wearing it because then the principal didn't want to come back to school. But that's kind of what we need. We need a free V1 emoji. Anyway, yeah, good dude though. I mean, anyway, that was way off topic. Let's go down here and initialize. Hey, at least we still have SimBrief though. What do you use for waypoints now? What do you mean, what do I use for waypoints? I use SimBrief is what I've been using for our flight plan. So here we go. We got a Phoenix to LAX. Ontario is our alternate. Today we're rocking the Cactus. Love this livery. Miss it dearly. 357 Custom X99. Yes, please. Cruise flight level. I know we filed that. I'm gonna go. Let's do 35 because we're going west is even. So let's make it 34 rather. Let's make it 340. And then we'll check when we get up there. IRS and NIT. We'll go ahead and let that do its full alignment. Departures off of Phoenix today. Let's see what the METAR is. Oh, it's not. Is it not? Did it fix the weather? Here it is. It did fix the weather. I wasn't sure. Let me refresh it. Get the latest and greatest. Imagine getting banned from SimBrief. That'll be the next one. That's my next goal for 2024 is to get banned from SimBrief. All right, Phoenix 130 at 3. So I tell you what, let's blast off of the runway I want to go off of because it is the best photogrammetry and best ortho in the simulator. If you take off of, I think it's going to be 26 right. Let's take a look at the charts here. A319 by the end of the month. I have no idea. I am just as much in the dark as everybody else as far as when Phoenix will be releasing the 319. They probably release it at the end of the month because I'm off. Basically, I've stacked my schedule this month for, I'm pretty much off now until next week. So they might release it on the 9th or they might release it on like the 25th. Those are my two assumptions. It's either going to be the 9th because I'll be gone for 3 days or the 25th when I start a string of trips. We're going to do 25 right. That way we can taxi under the bridge and take off 25 right and see the maximum ortho juice. So 25 right will be our departure runway. Going to want to taxi out there and see that absolutely awesome scenery. This is the AmSim BM World scenery. Hold on, I'm trying to pull up my flight plan. I used to normally pull it up on my V-Pilot, but I can't do that now. We're on the Keens 2 to Messy. So the Keens 2 departure. Where is it? There it is. Keens 2, Messy transition. We'll insert that. Zachary. Hold on. Oh, there's a couple. I had the alert box paused here. I'm sorry, I've missed one. Havoc came in here.
Word on the street is, Team Vodka ratted you out for one too many piss-offs.
Havoc, thank you for the $5 bank angle check, my friend. You know what? That would not surprise me. That would not surprise me. We did cut off Team Vodka quite a few times on this channel, but I know Team Vodka is a stellar human being. He wouldn't rat anybody out, that's for sure. But thank you for the $5 super chat or bank angle check, Havoc. Appreciate you. Zachary Contropso. Thank you for the super chat. Ooh, man, I love seeing the Cactus call sign. Miss seeing the U.S. Airways and America Westbirds coming in Phoenix. Good old days, I must say. Hey, Zachary, right there with you, man. Right there with you. I used to drive over to that parking garage here in Phoenix and just see these Airways, like everybody coming in. Airways was a big one. Eastwood transition on the Hollywood. So where is Eastwood? I passed you. Scroll up. Eastwood transition on the Hollywood. Approach via, I guess we could take it via... I'm not going to... yeah, let's take a look at the arrival via again here, because it is Los Angeles. Now, it's not like I have to worry about a controller coming online, but let's still try to maintain some semblance of realism. Approaches to 25 left. It's either going to be I think it's the Circus transition on this arrival. So there's Circus, and let's look at arrival on the Hollywood. Hollywood. Where's Hollywood? Oh, that's Phoenix Sky Harbor. That would be why. Jason Barzy, thank you for the $5 super chat, man. Appreciate you. No message with it, though. Appreciate the support. AJ Funari here also with the $2 super chat. Thank you, AJ. I appreciate it. V1 band due to barking up the MH370 tree. Oh, no. It could have. MH370, or maybe when we talk about fume events, man. Sivu is where we want to go, not Circus. So we do want the Sivu transition. Let me pin this one. Thank you, AJ. I appreciate the support and the $2 bank angle check, man. Phoenix Block 2 releasing soon? I have no idea. Like I said, my unofficial release date is going to be the 9th, because I go on a 3-day trip, or the 25th when I start a string of trips. So those are both my non-official, official release dates for Phoenix. I don't know when they're going to release it. Hey, we're in the Phoenix in Phoenix. Ironic. All right, Phoenix secondary. If we pop one, we'll come back around to the longest runway. Going east is going to be runway 26. So we'll put the ILS 26 in the secondary. As far as perf data is concerned, we'll come over here and we'll go 040 on the wind. Temperature off the ECAM is 16. QNH Magic Barrel ref key says 29er97. That's going in the secondary. Barrel, you could look it up. I'll put 200 in the DH because I don't want to. Prog page, let's put Sky Harbor in here for a quick and dirty GPS position. Perf, a NIT B, we'll leave it there. One other thing we need to do is our weight and balance and start the boarding process. So we're just about ready to go. We're about ready to go. I'll catch up to these messages here in just a second. I'm almost done, chat. Almost done. Mass and balance page. We're going to load aircraft instant, and then we're going to go GSX, begin the boarding process. Dismiss you. Let's go ahead and fire up the APU, and we'll double check our fuel on board. 12.4, that is on board and checked. So we'll get our fuel tank pumps on. We'll turn the seatbelt sign on. APU's coming up. Ooh, that's juicy. Let's take a listen. You should use some VATSIM tutorials to get back in their good grade. Look, I don't care about their good graces, honestly. I mean, if that's the kind of organization they want to be, like if that's their hill to die on, is you have to show proof of your birth certificate. We're fake flying airplanes on a simulator. Give me a break, all right? So, and it's not like I'm a troll, or it's not like it's a at least it's not a vulgar name, you know? And it's legit. I'm not just making fake accounts and making fake names. All of my stuff on YouTube went through one email, and then, like I said, the channel continued to grow, so then I changed emails, and that was it. But that's an account's almost 5 years old, so I don't, like I said, it was attached to an older number, so it is what it is. Ooh, that sounded juicy, though. All right, we'll start the chrono momentarily. Kind of an old question. What is your most satisfying button or lever to press in the 320? Gear lever, man. Either the gear lever when you go gear down, Sean, or when I press down real hard on the speed brake disarm, when I like punch that speed brake disarm. Thank you, Stefan. Appreciate the €3 donation, man. You're going to buy a 4090? Oh, man. Stefan, right now, right now with frame generation, I don't think I'm going to do any 4090 stuff. I may take a look, reassess when the 5 series cards come out. But yeah, right now, man, honestly, I'm doing 67 FPS, 40, high 40s, 50s on the ground here. I mean, I don't know if it's worth it right now. Maybe if prices came down, but thank you for the support. I appreciate you. V1, do you know if Chick-fil-A sandwich has 410? Just a race thing. So you know what? I didn't actually get Chick-fil-A. The line was too long. So I ran over to the coffee shop. I just got coffee. We were going to do 2 legs today. I may not have the juice to go 2 legs because I didn't end up getting any lunch. So my fasting, I probably won't even eat till 6 o'clock tonight. I did get a coffee though, but I didn't get any Chick-fil-A, unfortunately. Mike Jones. Jason Barzy, thanks for the $2 super chat. I'm ordering a Mr. V3 Throttlebox next week, or Flightbox V3 next week. Hey, check it out. We got the Flightbox V3 running strong, ready to go here. You're going to absolutely love it, Jason. I have a video on the channel for bindings if you need assistance with bindings, whether you're an X-Plane 12 or Microsoft, so check it out if you need help with that. The good thing is if you're in Microsoft Flight Simulator and X-Plane 12 rather, everything is native. You don't need any additional SPAD or anything for any additional bindings for this particular one. For the Boeing one, you need it for the start switches. Other than that, it's pretty much native out of the box, which is cool. But that's awesome. Congrats. It'll probably take a little while, but it'll be worth it when you get it. All right, there goes the APU bleed. Air is coming on. Let's get our condition down a little bit here. Are you just going to switch to Iveo or something, Mike Jones? I don't know what I'm going to do, honestly. Do you have to pay for VATSIM, or is it an honorable donation? VATSIM is completely free. VATSIM is completely free. Mike Jones says I put my name in as these nuts just to piss him off. Oh my gosh. See? I wasn't doing that, Mike Jones, and I still get the slap. What gets me is, like, you get 5 years. You're going to let me have my VATSIM account for 5 years, and then I compliment a controller, and that's what's going to trigger somebody? 5 years? Wait, is it 2020? Okay. Oh, okay, 4 years. 4 years. I'm ahead of myself. 4 years. 4 years. Because I'm pretty sure I made that account 2019. When did the channel start? 2019, 2018? I think it started in 2019 because we started just before COVID. Or a little before COVID anyway, the summer before COVID. So it had to be 2019. And then, yeah. Oh well. Have you tried the new firmware that enables the mini FCU? Aaron, I did, but I couldn't figure it out, and I rage quit, and I tried another mod instead to help with frame FPS. I'll have to go back and look at it. Fractality's here. Good to see you, man. Fractality, yes. Without Fractality, I would not be where I'm at right now with my simulator. My sim is running absolutely fantastic. But I got to look at that mini cockpit software again to get the Mobi flight support and all that. I tried it once, it didn't work, and then I rage quit. Mike P says, irony is I've seen lots of people using that name. Oh, really, Mike P? Interesting. Interesting. 14 months as a member, Mike. Man, appreciate you, dude. He was banned for being a fake pilot. I can't believe you have to put your passport or birth certificate. Yeah. Is that what they require now? Passport or birth certificate? That's what it seems like anyway. Whatever you do, it's VATSIM's loss. I mean, I just think it's... I don't know. It just seems... Unless it's someone that has a personal vendetta against me, it just seems like, what? Really? Why? Like what? I don't know. Do you have a vid on your full setup? I don't, Geyser, but I've done vids on all the hardware and stuff separately. Is VATSIM run by PMDG? Well, then that would be, I could see a potential link there. Can you make more McDo TOT tutorials? McDo tutorials? Nick's Aviation. I have a few on my channel already of this. Oh, I can't do that. Let's get our... like the advanced tips. I made some ones a long time ago. I'm sure I'll make more. If you need to know something, though, let me know in the chat. I can show you. 133 and 30.4. 133. Oh man, what was it? 133.7. And that's going to be set there. Our fuel is 12.4. Man, everything is running so smooth. Good night. 12.4 set. It's almost too good to be true. Let's see what we got here for extra time. Kanopki, thank you for the €3, donation. It's VATSIM's loss. Keep rocking, V1. Hey, Kanopki, I appreciate you, man. Thank you for the support. We're going to keep, dude, you think, this ain't the first time I've been banned. So, from something. I've been banned from multiple things. But, we're going to keep rocking, man. We're going to keep rocking. Actually, I take that back. I was only banned from VATSIM one other time. And that's because I had a personal VATSIM account from when I had like a personal setup. And then I changed everything to a true alias setup. And then they banned me because the email didn't match the name. So then I made everything for YouTube under one email. And then I made an account under that email. So everything was legit, connected to a legit phone number. And 4 years later, they decide that they don't want that. So, who knows, man? I'll take the FPS. I will take the FPS. Let's run a perf data calculation while we're loading up here. Just ordered a Boeing TCA yoke, a throttle pack, super stoked. Been rocking basic, Thrustmaster HOTAS like 2 years. So big. Oh, that's a big upgrade, man. Yep, TH HOTAS or CH HOTAS. Yeah, might have to become a Boeing guy for a month. You probably will. I gotta tell you, the Thrustmaster Boeing yoke, I've been getting a lot of use out of it. It's been a lot of fun. All right, 2.5 right, dry, sync final. We're gonna do, should we do Toga today? Yeah, we'll do Toga today. Packs on or off? Let's see, that's gonna be up to the chat. So we have 450 watching. We need at least half, right? So if we get 250 likes, we'll go packs off. Without 250 likes, we'll go packs on, be super lame. We'll run these numbers though. Sync live, that looks good, and calculate that for me. Off 2.5 right, please. How long is the band? Mike Jones, I don't know. So like I said, in 2022, I believe it was 22, I got a new phone number. I think it was 22. Or it might have been the tail end of 21. I dropped my phone out of my boat when I was fishing, and it was really sad because I didn't back up my phone. I had all the pictures of my dad, and my dad had just passed away. So I lost my phone completely, gone. And I didn't have anything backed up. And I was kind of a dark moment in my life. My father just passed away. All my videos and stuff of him were on there. And I wanted a fresh start, right? So I got a new phone, new number, and we also had moved states like 3 times. So I had a number from when I was in like high school. So I just said, I'm gonna have a new number, start completely fresh. Well, I didn't think that, that number was attached to my account. So now when you do the Google recovery, it's like, enter your phone number. I'm like, oh, that ain't gonna work. All right, 21, 40, and 40, no flex with a flap 1. What did it say? I have short-term memory loss today. 121, 40, and 40. 121, 140, and 140. Flaps 1 is set, no flex. Fantastic. Oh, I love that. I love it. I love it. We have a company massage. We'll come over here. Let's take a look. It's probably just our load sheet. Should we do a toga today? Is the Pope a Catholic? Does a bishop? Yeah, have it. I know. Receive messages. We got 2 of them. We'll accept that. Oh, the sad thing is we can't receive our CP DLC of our, what was it, the Jehovah Witnesses. Remember we were getting those? All right, let's do a quick brief, though, for departure. We'll have VOR up, constraints up, terrain on my side. It's a 320 for tail strike. We'll do a flaps 1 departure. We plan to start them up both. We'll do a 2-engine taxi out, runway 25 right. Terrain is a consideration. Not so much going this direction, eastbound, but if we get a runway change and we have to go westbound, then it definitely becomes more of a consideration. There is a simple special for returning back to Phoenix Sky Harbor. We'll be slightly underweight, but we'll be close to that max, I think, depending on what our final load is. I think, what did it say? Actually don't know. 145, yeah, so we'll be close to max landing weight. Either way, long drive runway on 26 if we need it. Come back around. If all goes as well, we're going to be departing on the Keynes 2 departure. Oh, I never started my Moby. Let me start my Moby flight real quick. Not Moby flight. What is it called? Mini cockpit. I never started my mini cockpit software. Mini cockpit software. I got to start it. Give me a second. That way I can at least use my FCU. Hey, now it's flashing at me. All right, we'll set a top altitude of 16,000 for now. 16,000 is set. Everything else looks good. External power will disconnect you. We'll come over to the ground ceviche, and we'll disconnect the GPU. Boom. All right, we got 124. We're almost loaded up.
Video with his theories on why being one banned from VATSIM. One of them is shit.
Oh my gosh, Mike P, dude, that's awesome. That's funny, man. Mike P with the $5 bank angle check, right back at you, man. I can't, Mike P. And now you're trying to get me in trouble. Al W, good to see you. Welcome to the channel, man. It's your big jet TV spying. Maybe you offended someone. Maybe. I could have. You're nuts. I will title the next stream something banned from VATSIM. I gotta use it, man. It's not clickbait. It's actually legit. So I'll be able to use a real title that's not clickbait. Here's the thing with clickbait. I understand why it's extremely frustrating as a viewer. I have subscriptions to other channels that also produce clickbait titles. But here's the thing, as a content creator, you gotta have people click on your videos. It's just the name of the game. So coming up with creative, I try to balance between clickbait and true. You know, like I don't ever just want to like advertise something completely false, but you got to come up with creative ways to get people to click it. Same with thumbnails. You got to take your time, make a nice thumbnail. So as both a viewer of other channels and as a content creator, I understand 100% both sides of the argument with clickbait titles, but I can tell you right now the next one will be titled Banned from VATSIM. We'll see how many views it gets, and then we'll reassess. I'll tell you, look, clickbait actually works. Migs, thank you for the $10 super chat, my friend. Appreciate you. He says, I'll fix this VATSIM nonsense. Captain, you are clear to push back, taxi, takeoff, climb, descend, change approach, change altitude, and land. And here's your coffee. Migs, I appreciate you, dude. Thank you so much, man, for the $10 super chat. I hope you're having a wonderful day, and I appreciate that. Thank you. My cafe con leche. I'm on a cafe con leche kick. Where's Gustavo at? Right now. They're just delicious. I appreciate it, Migs. Michael, I just missed your comment up there. I was scrolling back. I'm using TAA with the frame gen mod, so I'm using TAA. Team Vodka with the $20 super chat. Hey, did you know that is your 10th super chat on the live stream, Team Vodka? Appreciate you, man. Team Vodka coming in with the support as ever. $20. Thank you so much. You can use this to bribe someone at VATSIM to reinstate your account. There you go. Oh, it's not for me. Okay, so that $10 Team Vodka super chat is not for me. That's for bribery. Then I'll get slammed with a bribery clause or something in their rule of conduct. So I don't know if I can do that, Team Vodka. I might just pocket that $20 and go get a Chick-fil-A peppermint shake here after the stream. I appreciate you, man. Thanks for the support. Chasing Hurricanes was the best title. Tukatore, that was phenomenal. But I tell you what, that was one of the most fun streams I've done, like in recent. There's some bangers. I mean, you can tell, like when a stream concludes, you're like, oh, that was a great stream, or that was an average streamer. Sometimes the stream just doesn't jive. Whether it's, my mood is not right, the chat mood is not right. It happens. It's just part of being a content creator. But man, that Chasing Hurricanes one was absolutely epic. That was just the on approach. It was just the whole thing. Crazy. Late joiner here. Haven't seen you doing anything on stream worthy of being banned. Hey, Airbus 737, you would think so. I would agree. Google can help recover access your account by asking us here security. So Merlin, I'm trying to figure that out. I had like 5 minutes, but I didn't know I was banned until literally maybe 10 minutes before I went live because I tried to file my flight plan on VATSIM. And the only way I could get to it was phone number. And it's like, well, if you can't do it by the phone number, I don't know. I have to look into it. I'm not saying all is lost, but either way, it doesn't matter. If I log into the account, what's it going to say? Oh, your VATSIM account has been banned. Like, I know what that email says. It doesn't really change anything. So, the only thing that would change is if there was like some other explanation, perhaps. But at this point, who cares? I mean, a band is a band. So. Maybe someone at VATSIM was tired of being a V1 being a 250-hour Southwest Airbus captain. Oh, my goodness. All right, here we go, chat. Looks like boarding is completed. Let's run our final overhead sweep. Everything else looks good on the overhead. We're disconnected from the ground power. Speeds are done. I'll put you there. I'll put flight plan page up right here. 16,000 is set. I think we're ready to get out of here. I think we're ready to go. Let's prepare for pushback and departure. Hey, for nope. I will actually do the radio calls for you guys. Cockpit to ground. Ground to cockpit, go ahead. Actually, I would be talking from cockpit to ground.
Yeah, we're inserting the pin right now. Advise ready to push.
Cockpit down, roger, stand by, run the checkers, we'll be right with you. Alex, 5150, there's the pin down there. Hey, Captain, I'll have some friends pay them guys I'll have some friends pay them guys some, oh gosh, to visit. Alex, 5150, yes. Pulling out oh my gosh, I'm drawing a blank. What's the movie? Get the cannoli. Oh, come on, what's the movie I'm talking about? Godfather. We can't go Godfather on VATSIM. I will not be a condoner of violence. We're not going to go all Godfather on it, but I appreciate the $20 massive super chat. Thank you, Alex5150. Very kind of you. That's also your 10th super chat on the channel as a... Oh, no, that's your first super chat. Excuse me, your first super chat. So I appreciate that, Alex. Thank you for all the support. I see your membership status there. Very, very kind of you. Thank you for supporting the channel all these months. All right, before start checklist, windows, doors, and slides. Closed. And armed. Beacon on, thrust levers idle, parking brake is set. Before start checklist is complete. Ramp, Cactus 357, Bravo 6, ready to push.
Ramp to Cactus 357, rudder, pushback approved. Call ready for taxi.
Push approved, call you back. Cactus 357. Nose left, tail right. That's where we want to go, right? Yeah, nose left, tail right. That'd be something. We push nose into the terminal. Brakes released, you're clear to push. Here we go. I love this scenery. I love this scenery. Yeah, I used to sit up here many, many moons ago. Old V1 as a teen, hanging out up there on the parking garage, looking at all the Cactus jets down here. The FAA, I mean VATSIM, has a number for you to call. John, I'd actually would appreciate that. I would actually rather have a call from VATSIM. I mean, well, they'd have to get my new number, right? Send me an email on my new email account. I will gladly have a discussion. That's a phone call I would gladly answer. Speaking of phone calls, I'm hoping I get one on this stream. If I do, I might have to break away for a few minutes. But we'll see.
Here's a donation for your neck tattoo.
Oh, Mike P. So now I got 2 neck tattoos. Oh, Mike P. I appreciate you. Thank you. Yeah, I'm gonna do just the. I'll do the VATSIM logo with like a skull and crossbones over the top of it on my neck. And I'll put it on the right side so that way when I go fly at work, all my FOs can see like, what's that tattoo you got on your neck there, man? Like, yeah, I got banned from VATSIM, bro. Yeah, Mike P. This is supposed to be a mature edutainment channel here. Mike P is talking about neck tattoos. Let's go ahead and fire them up, shall we? APU bleed is on. Engine mode selector ignition start.
Ola Pappy, make sure you don't crash into the Coast Guard.
Oof. Too soon, Juan. Appreciate the $5 super chat, though, man. Here we go. Starting engine 1.
Tow truck disconnected. Bypass pin removed.
She sounds less than enthusiastic to be at work today.
Left is clear. Right is clear.
It sounds aight. I sound way better. Got a little flickering up there in the terminal. Now that has been there since before frame gen, I believe, for me. I believe I've had that issue. We'll do a 2-engine taxi out. Let's see if I'll tell you what. Let's go outside view. We've never done it on the Phoenix. Let's do an outside engine start. We'll compare it to fly-by-wire. All right, y'all ready for this? Let's go ahead and turning 2. We're spoiled from the fly-by-wire startup. Definitely spoiled on the fly-by-wire startup sounds from outside. Why don't you start engines while pushback? The real answer, Stefan, is because I like to sit here and listen to the sounds and not have to worry about GSX talking. That's the real reason. Real life, though, yeah, we start them up during pushback. Thomas Ray, thank you for the $5 super chat. Hope you plan to do some X-Plane 12 soon. I've done a ton of airport updates. Ooh, I'll shoot you some pictures. I'll be in the next X-Plane update. Thomas Ray, thank you for the $5 super chat. Appreciate you. X-Plane is not lost. We will be back. We will be back. Thank you, Thomas. I appreciate that super chat. Let's go Flaps 1. Subscribe to Iveo. What is Iveo? I don't even know what Iveo is. I have no idea. Is that like another VATSIM? You'll have to edit the video title to include ban from VATSIM. Well, Team Vanka, I already said, we talked about it briefly. The next stream will be titled that, indeed. Look at this, looks pretty cool. The little Heapler right there. Now, I think that's a little over-exaggerated, but man, this looks so good. This looks so good. It's a no Bora startup, that's for sure, Paul. Are you ever asked to hold startup and told to do so? Not really. Maybe in South America somewhere. All right, that's coming off. Everything looks good on the overhead, and our trims are set. 0.1 down. Let's do a quick flight control check. Ooh. Hit the camera there. Full up. Full down. Neutral. Full left. Full right. Neutral. Rudder. Full left. Full right as far as I can go without rolling. Neutral. Auto brakes max. Takeoff config is checked. That's coming on auto. TAR. That should be an auto to begin with. Boom, boom. All right. Ramp control, Cactus 357, ready taxi. Cactus 357, roger, contact ground. Then we contact ground, they say taxi to 27, right. Cool. Brakes released. Taxi light on. Here we go. Gosh, that looks good, doesn't it? Can you imagine when we got these IAEs out here? Oh, that is real life. Real life. All right, we're coming out here at Mike 2. We're going to make the 2 right turns. We're going to go under the bridge. 2 right turns under the bridge. James Johnson, Happy New Year. Right back at you, my friend. I do not live in Canada, no. Just joined, came back from lunch. Why did VATSIM ban you? I didn't hear the start. My assumption is because they didn't like my account name, which was legit. So that's my assumption. The reason I say assumption is because we talked about it as well. I got to try to recover my password from my email. It was set up 4 years ago, so like things have changed, but yeah. That's my assumption. Unless it's for unauthorized group flights. Is that a thing? Like, do you think they could have got mad for us all going down to Aruba? I don't know. I can't imagine that would be a reason. Bridge crashing coming? Gosh, I hope not. Real life minus the traffic now that you're banned. I know. But minus the traffic, but plus the frames, Fireflyer. Plus the frames. Like, amazing. One mistake was solely the engine display as EPR, which isn't seen on CFM 56. Oh, really, Professor Somebody? That's a nice little detail. I haven't seen solely in a very long time. Well, Tony Johns, I mean, you would think, you know, after 4 years that it, you know, and I would understand if it was like a not legit name that didn't have a legit email that wasn't attached to a legit account, but because that's why they banned me the first time, was because my email didn't match my name. So I was like, okay, I'll play your game. I will make sure everything is set up on the right. Oop, I turned the wrong way here. It's not like we're gonna hit any traffic. And I thought it was a good idea anyway, since I'm running a public figure as a streamer. I was like, I'm gonna have all my YouTube stuff go through one account, and yeah, that's that. Gonna have to check out Beyond ATC. I've been hearing a lot about Beyond ATC. We're gonna sidestep to the right here because I don't know if that guy is actually supposed to be there or not. So we're gonna taxi a little bit to the right of that, but we get to go over the bridge, which is cool. Yeah, Jeremy, I did. This is the Soli bird. That would be really close. We'd go over it, I guess, but that's very sus. All right, we'll get back on center line. Oh, there's the road. That's a shot right there. That's Phoenix for you. Gotta love it. Going under the Sky Bridge. If you like Sky Bridge, just smash it like that. Yeah, Tony, none. That's why I say, is because I sent that one email thanking the controller. So when I sent that email to thank the controller, then whoever received it raised an eyebrow and was like, well, you can't have this alias. Okay. Let me just get my birth certificate out for you. I'll give you my social while we're at it. I'm new to the stream. What site stick? Rex Technology. Sorry, just looking at arm hair right now. I got my tiller over there. That is the FSprojects. The link is in the description. You can also type !stick. I have a dedicated video. Basically, it's a Thrustmaster Warthog base, and then the top part is a custom grip made by FSprojects, Flight Sim Projects. So it's becoming more and more popular. I keep seeing screenshots in the hardware section of folks grabbing the FSprojects stick, but I absolutely love it. There's multiple options for bases. You can use a Thrustmaster base, or you can use a Verpal base. Check out my video on the channel, though, for more detailed explanation. Oh, yeah, here we go. I want to take a screenshot of that right there. Camelback. So that's Camelback Mountain in the background. That is so cool. Gonna be another thumbnail. All right, here we go. Let's see. Did we hit the likes? Did we hit 250? Tony Johns. Hey, we don't condone violence on this channel. Alright, what do we do? 266. Packs off. Alright, here we go. Pack 1, Pack 2 is off. I'm going to start the timer, hopefully to remind myself to turn them back on, so we don't get that ECAM. Runway 25 right is confirmed. Now, pay specific attention. We're going to spend most of the departure in the left aircraft left window view. It is the best.
For fairly the same reason a week ago. Wrote them an email, just got the account back today.
Alec, very interesting. All right, man. Well, I appreciate that. Maybe we'll be able to figure something out, too. Maybe they're just doing like a purging. Who knows? Either way, we're lined up 25 right is confirmed. Yeah, 25 right is confirmed. Left side window view, chat. This is going to be, I still think, for some reason, Microsoft Flight Simulator, the ortho, the photogrammetry going off of this runway in this sim is some of the best in the entire sim. It looks photo real. So, spool them up 50, nose forward on the stick. Yoga. back on center line. Toga SRS auto thrust is a belay. 80 knots, thrust set. 100 knots. Oops, that's not V1. 100 knots. Check. V1. Rotate. Positive rate. Gear up. Navin. Fly with. Watch your ears. That is a Toga takeoff, Chad. It's going to be 10 times better when we have IEs. Hopefully this is our last CFM Toga. All right, here we go. Thrust reduction from window view. Oof. All right, with thrust climb, navin. Well, listen to those engines. Let's go pack 2. Reset, give it about 15 seconds, and we'll go pack 1. Here we go. Is this not photo real out of here? Oh shoot, we gotta start. I tell you what. Since this is a photo real departure, I'm gonna level it off pretty much, and then we'll turn the autopilot on. Right there. Autopilot 1. Back in here. Oops. Pack 1. Go out, fault light. Here we go. Fault light's out. This is insane. This is 100% what it looks like. Let's go flaps 0. Charlie Romeo, good to see you, man. Yeah, this is, I'm going to try to keep my screen on this. This is real life, Chad. This is 100% real life. I don't know what it is about this departure out of here. Look at the baseball fields down here. You get the little lake. All the houses down there. Stunning. Juice. When adding packs on, does it matter what you do first? No, Paul. Theoretically, you could do 2 first to help get the cabin cooling quicker, because they're going to be getting hot back there for sure. Pack 2 is directly for the cabin. Pack 1 will come through up front. So if you're selfish, you can do pack 1 first. Tyson, you flew out of Phoenix on your way to Mexico? Nice, dude. Wow, Steven. If you listen closely, you can hear the sound of the eagles choking against the cars. Ouch. Steven out here taking shots. The Eagles, I think we already passed their stadium. We might have. Would have been out here somewhere. Unless that's it. That might be their stadium right there. I think that is it, actually. That's it. That's 100% it right there. Because what's that, Goodyear over here? This is Goodyear Airport. The amount of times I flew between Goodyear and Deer Valley, which is up over here. Look at the shadows of the clouds on this. This departure never gets old. This is just stunning. Oh, look, you can see the AOA changing on the wing, so we just hit 10,000 feet. We're going to go ahead and start to accelerate. Raphael, that is correct. Now, you can run the cabin on either pack. You can do single pack operation, but when they're both operating, yes, there's basically the way that the ducting is routed, pack 2 is going to be in the cabin. It's going to be most effective for the cabin. There it is. That's the whole, there's the stadium, there's like all the bars and everything. Man, it's been some good time over here. Here's, this is Goodyear, right? Along the 101 freeway. Do landing practice here, run over the stadium back to Deer Valley, head to the game with my dad. A lot of fun, man, a lot of fun. Glendale, that's what it is. I kept saying Goodyear. Glendale, thank you. It's Glendale. This is the airport, if y'all remember, a long time ago, maybe you don't remember, when I was a student pilot learning how to do, oh god, that scared me. When I was learning how to do short field landings, and I almost put the wheel struts of a Piper Arrow through the wing. It happened right here on this runway here. I was landing right there. All right, we're going to go ahead and accelerate. Let's get our lights off. We'll turn down the sim sounds a little bit. We'll reel it in. Oh, look at some of this juicy ortho looking out south towards Mexico and southern Arizona. Fun fact, the captain who developed the IXEG trained at Goodyear when he first, now he's on that. Yeah, Jeremy, they had Lufthansa Flight Academy. Is that who he flew? I'm assuming that's who he flew. I'm not to dox like who he flew for, but I almost worked for them. They tried to recruit me as an instructor. They paid really good, but I was pretty much on the tail end of my instructing career at that point. They have the airliner story. That's right, Tony Johns. At Goodyear is where, yeah, they have the right here. This is Goodyear right here. Oh, we're missing it. I mean, this is how good this sim is. Like you can just see. Yeah, is that Goodyear or the Navy or the Air Force Base? I can't remember now, but either way, some good times. Some good times. We're out of 10. We'll reset the chrono. We're doing a 340 on the climb out. That is awesome. All these fields out here. This is just like sitting in the real airplane. I know you all probably want to see the cockpit and like flows, but this is too much juice to just sit up front. What happened to Mini FCU? Nothing happened to Mini FCU. I'm running it, but I'm not running I can't get the software to work yet for it with the Fenix. So I got to spend some more time figuring that out. Yeah, United does it now. It's United Aviate. That was Luke. That was Luke Tony. Okay, yeah, so I missed it. My airspeed indicator is showing 1 knots. All right, so I think we're leveling at 16. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my Mini FCU. Oh, dang it. Hold on. Let's push to level off. We're going to go vertical speed 0. And then I'm going to select a higher altitude. We're going to go back to wing view, and we're going to do an open climb, and hopefully we'll get a nice spool-up sound. So let me go ahead and dial in. 340 is what we filed. What's our optimum headed over to LA? Optimum 35? Yeah, so we'll take 340. 340 is set, and now we're going to go here, and we'll pull for open climb. Let's see if we can hear a thrust up. So I'm going to turn the sounds up. So you're just climbing along in your passenger window. You can hear it a little bit. Not much. We are doing 340 knots, so you get a lot of wind noise. All right, we're thrust climb, open climb, 16.4. We can go ahead and turn off the terrain. We'll scroll our range out. Wow. James, I think there's a few. There's Korean Air. They fly a 748 out of Atlanta. All right. 17.8, we'll go ahead and hit standards. STDs, oh, not quite yet. All right, fine. STDs for you. Mike P. and Team Vodka. STDs are set out of 18,000 up to 340. We'll recruise it because we had 35 filed, but we're going to 34. So 34 is set. We'll put LAX in here. Also at 10,000 feet, we'll copy the active. I never really do this on stream. I always forget, but now that we're not on VATSIM, I can kind of remember. Our flight plan has been copied, and then on the second radio, we'll put the emergency Delta operations radio, 121.5 on the active. We'll monitor that. All right, things look good, and we'd also go topless. So we go ahead and turn on our loudspeaker. It looks like it was on max. And then we would turn our intercoms from int to off. Go topless, put your seat back, and enjoy the climb out. But I mean, this is a hell of a look at this first officer climb out view. Look at that shot. Yeah, that's the I-10 going out there, Zach. Yep. How is frame gen on the frame? Oh, Brian, right now it's working amazingly. I'd pull up my frame capture thing to see what it is, but I'm sure it's right around 60s in the Fenix. I posted some screenshots in the Discord. Well, I posted them a while ago, and then the Discord was just going off like a million messages a minute. But I posted some screenshots of with the capture on there, and you could see it's 60 plus frames in the Fenix. So, yeah, frame gen has definitely been game changing for my system. Definitely been game changing for me. I was CPU limited, especially while streaming. You know, splitting the load up. So now that I have frame generation enabled and using another mod, it's like it's really helped kind of me divvy up where everything needs to go, and it's creating a wonderful sim experience. Knock on wood. Let's hope we can get all the way to LA, because whenever you run new things, you may introduce new problems. So knock on wood, hopefully everything runs smooth. I think we need to rename that to XP7. It is. Yeah, this is the XP72 view right here. This is XP72's view. Is he streaming tonight? I miss XP72. I haven't seen him flying in a while. Gonna fly Delta in March from Sao Paulo to Atlanta on a 330, from Atlanta to Austin in a 321. Awesome, man. Well, say hello when you're on the arrival coming up from Sao Paulo. They'll probably fly over my house, depending on which way they're landing. I thought we only went topless for the V1 swimsuit calendar. I only send that to certain people, Steven. That was a secret. What was the result of the big news we were waiting on yesterday? Thrust set. I need more time. Like, it wasn't... There was a possibility that I would have been able to say something, but I still am kind of, yeah. Some of the members we talk in the Discord, we kind of know what's going on. If y'all join the members-only Discord section or the voice chat, we've talked about it a little bit, but there's just a lot of things in motion right now with me. Not specifically with me, but with our family, and just a lot of stuff going on outside of work, too. So I thought there was going to be an update yesterday, but there was not. But I did get to jump seat around the country, which was exhausting. New mod for FG is out. What is that? Oh, frame gen? What's the other mod you're using along frame gen? I can neither confirm nor deny what it is. But it's a popular one. Come join the Discord. Say hi to Mrs. V1. She better not be in that voice chat. No, we're actually doing. I think they're all out driving around right now. Baby V5. No. Hey, I'm not that bored, man. All right, we're going through a little bit of a cloud layer here, but we're minus 32. I mean, if you want to be by the book, we'll go engine and IS on just as we bust through this. That's not the best phrasing there. How about the Texas game? Man, I was so disappointed. It was a great game. What a college football playoff, though. I mean, both games, both the Texas game and the Michigan-Alabama. What a great day of football. I can only hope that the college football championship is just as good, but very sad. You're not going on the 7.8 like 320 sim pilot, are you? No, I do not have any long-haul plans. So I was on my jump seat flight home yesterday. I was in the cockpit, and the captain had just come back to the 320 from the A350. Been flying the 350 for a couple of years, and I was talking to him like, man, why'd you come back to the 320 off the 350? And he said, straight up, he's like, man, flying in the middle of the night, sleeping in shifts on an airplane isn't all it's cracked up to be. And that is exactly how I've always felt, at least assumed that I would feel that way. Like, so he came back for the quality of life, being able to spend more time at home, more flexibility on the narrow body fleet. So That was really his main reason. Now, he did say that one thing that he missed about the 350 was the pressurization. He said his ears are always popping now on the 320, but he didn't realize it when he went to the 350. But when he came back from the 350, he said he could really tell that pressurization is just more aggressive in the 320 series. But yeah, he spent a couple years on that and then came back. You have to paint a V1 hangar over your roof. I'll put a V1 logo on the roof panel so anybody flying into Atlanta would see it. It's always a good day when Alabama takes an L. Texas losing was also a bonus. Hey, Bomb Tech. What are you doing here, man? PMDG has the 777 in beta. Like we learned from the 737, it will take a few months. Interestingly, PMDG has no plans to even consider updating their P3D until they release the 74. I hope that's true, Rex, because I would like a 74 way more than a 777. Oh my goodness, chat. What do we like better, XP view? I'm assuming the chat likes XP72 view here just because y'all are not so familiar with the cockpit view. But it's funny because me being up front all the time, I like the wing views in the sim. But this is pretty juice. You Tigers. Bomb Tech trying to get banned too. Did you see the Blancolirio? I did, Jeremy. I watched the Blancolirio video last night, or this morning rather. I think it came out this morning, whatever it was. I watched it this morning. Oh no, I think I watched it last night actually. Yeah, I mean, there's not much to like investigate in my opinion right now. I mean, you have a video of what happened. What we need to find out, I'm gonna turn the sim down a little bit. What we need to find out is we need the ATC tapes, and the tower is gonna have all the audio recorded. At least they should. I would imagine they do. And then there's a couple things that come into play. Was a Dash 8 supposed to be on the runway? Was he given a clearance to line up on the runway? If he wasn't cleared to be on the runway, how did he end up on the runway? Did he make a wrong turn? Did they have a confusing clearance? You know, it's really those two items. How did that airplane end up on the runway? The 350 was already rolling out. So it's not like the 350 just touched down and hit him. You could see the 350 on the ground a good couple hundred feet away. I mean, the nose was on the ground. It wasn't even like the 350 was in the flare. You could clearly see the impact on the nose cone of the 350. So ran right up the tailpipe of that Dash 8, and then you could see the engine nacelles, and why there was an immediate fire is because you just dumped all that jet fuel right into the engines of that 350. Just an immediate explosion. So why was the Dash 8 on the runway? There was a mistake made somewhere. It was either air traffic control, or it was either a misunderstanding, and the pilots were on the runway in the wrong spot, or the pilot got they could have been confused. Could definitely been confused. So until we hear the actual audio tapes that aren't, I think Blancolirio played one. I couldn't really hear it very well coming through the TV. Yeah, the controller should have, or the tower should have, a very clear audio recording of all the stuff happening. So that'll be the telltale sign. Now, you could think that maybe that Dash 8, the Coast Guard plane, if they're running humanitarian stuff, I think it had done like 3 flights that day. Is the crew fatigued? You could definitely get into that status of being fatigued. You're working hard. You're in and out. Fatigue could definitely play a role in that situation, but it's very sad. I mean, it's amazing that the crew of the 350 evacuated that airplane with less than half the slides available. Phenomenal job by the Japan Airlines crew, but that's still a very, very sad day. I mean, you had 5 people killed on that Dash 8. I know we're all celebrating the 350, but like I said at the beginning of this stream, there's 5 families, there's 5 people that aren't going home to their families now. And who knows, I don't know what the condition is of the lone survivor of the Coast Guard crew. Gustavo says the theory that the Dash was aligned for takeoff, making it harder to see from the 350. It's scary. They didn't have a ground radar with incursions warning. So, Gustavo, I don't know. I have no idea what the procedures are in Japan or for the Coast Guard. So for us specifically, we have when you line up at night, you got to be 5 feet from the center line. And we can, you're supposed to offset 5 feet. Now, there's been an incident in California. I believe it was a 7-3. Someone will look it up here and have the info in the chat. I don't want to, but just look up LAX landing on top of, I think it was a 737 landed on top of a regional prop, even a Metro maybe. Someone look it up, put it in the chat. So it's happened in the United States before, and because of that incident, there's been other procedures that our crews do in the States. So I can only speak to what we do in the U.S. I have no idea what they do abroad and what their SOPs are. But for us, line up 5 feet off the center line. When you're on the runway, all the lights are on, except when you're cleared to line up. Top row for the Airbus specifically, so I have no idea what it would do in the dash. We'll go ahead and get these off. Airbus specifically, top row is on. I've got my taxi light on, and I actually put it to the TO mode, give myself a little extra visibility. Runway turnoffs are on, and these are in the off but extended position. You get cleared for takeoff. Actually, yeah, you get cleared for takeoff. It's these on and this on. So everything comes on. But on the runway, you know, you've got your other lights. The top row is completely on. Strobes, wings. But now you say, okay, well, why didn't they see them? You know, it's a Dash 8. It's very small. The width of that runway is really wide. I don't know what the actual width is of Haneda. But it would be difficult to see. You have to actively look. Now, I don't want to Monday morning quarterback and say, well, how come the 350 crew didn't see him on the runway? I would hope, and I pray to God, that if I see any airplane on the runway in front of me that's not supposed to be there, I actively look at the runway every single landing. You know, even if you're landing behind someone, it's like, okay, clearly land, and I'm monitoring, all right, runway's clear. You know, that's something I kind of do, and a lot of guys I fly with do the same thing, where it's like you're making sure the runway is completely clear. Now, at night, you lined up a small airplane inside that threshold lighting, it can be very difficult, if not impossible, to see a small prop. Even if the Coast Guard had all of its lights on, I'm not saying it would be visible. I hope and pray that if that ever happened, I would see it, but you don't know. And it's very, very, very possible that it was just completely invisible to the landing crew, because they obviously would have gone around if they seen an airplane on the runway. Jeremy, why is it so hard? Well, it's hard to see smaller airplanes more, especially when there's threshold lighting, because you got to remember you're coming down from on top and directly behind, so all the lights on the airplane are facing forward, minus, depending on the layout of the lights, you've got position lights that might be shining backwards. But if you're on the center line, your position light on the tail is directly in line with the center line lights, and depending on how wide your wingspan is, those wingtip lights are going to be right on the position with either the threshold touchdown lights, like the, you know, those white lights that mark the touchdown zone, not the edge lights necessarily, but the lights in between the edge lights and the center line. So, you know, it'd be very, very difficult to see. That is also why we offset 5 feet minimum from the center line. So you line up parallel to the center line, but 5 feet off. That way, hopefully, in theory, you know, in an airliner, if there was an airliner on that runway with all of its lights on and it was offset, you would be illuminating the part of the runway between the threshold lights and the edge lights. So you theoretically would be able to see it easier. That is part of our procedure. Now, I don't know if that carries on from different airline to different airline, but I mean, it's a Dash 8. I mean, they don't have very many bright lights. I don't even know what the lighting configuration looks like on a Dash 8. We'd have to fire up the X-Plane 12 to really see. That would be, you know, fire up. I'm sure someone will fire up X-Plane 12 and do a visual, and, you know, be able to see it a little bit better. It's a tiny black spot on a runway. Yeah, it is. And the wider and bigger the runway, the harder it's going to be to see a small airplane on it, especially, and the key, and Haneda has this, is the threshold lights. So let me show you what I'm talking. Well, may not be able to see it on just a chart, but let's look up LAX. I missed my fly pad. It's a little bit more snappy. Ground charts 10-9. So yeah, it's very difficult. You have to just look at Google Images, but you've got threshold lights as well. Now, this is also part of the reason, you know, I mean, you know, you don't even really say that. It doesn't really apply, but you could apply this where, you know, if you're landing on the runway 25 left, I might have put the wrong one in the box. We always brief the type of lights that are down there too, you know? We got PAPI, ALSIF 2 lighting. That doesn't really apply to anybody on the runway, but because you don't brief what type of runway lights are on the runway, which you can find by the way. A 10.9A should have the information. Yeah. So if you look at the 10.9A page, you'll see what type of runway lights. So here's what I'm talking about. The for 6 left and 2-4 right, high intensity runway lights, centerline lights, Mauser lights. This runway has ALSIF 2 touchdown zone lights. That's what I'm talking about. The touchdown zone lights are what make it really difficult to see on large runways. So, if you just had centerline lights, theoretically, maybe if you could see the wingtips, or depending on the airplane that's sitting there, it'd be easier to see. But the touchdown zone lighting makes it very, very difficult to see any aircraft lights that are in position. You probably have a better chance of spotting the beacon just because it's a red color and everything else is white in the touchdown zone. But yeah, it's sad for sure. It's a sad incident, loss of life, and I'm sure they'll have the final reports out. All we are doing is I'm trying not to speculate, but that's really all anybody can do at this point until the tapes are released from the tower. Who was cleared to be where, then it is what it is. Sounds like pilot air. I mean, BKG Blue, it could be. It all depends on who was cleared to be where. What's telling to me is that I initially thought the incident was the Dash 8 was pulling out onto a runway, or maybe they were confused of where they were, and they thought they were pulling onto a taxiway, and they got T-boned. That's what I thought. But when you look at the wreckage of the pictures of the 350 before it burned to the ground, you could see very prominent damage on the nose cone. So that to me is a clear sign that that airplane collided directly head on with that dash. So the nose went right into the tail. You've got massive scarring and denting on the engine nacelle, meaning that those nacelles went right into the wings of that dash, which would also explain that instant fireball. I mean, imagine just dumping all of that fuel right into those engines with the collision and sparks that are going to be at the ignition source. I mean, that is how you create a fireball of that size, instantly, just boom. So that means that that Dash 8, in my opinion, had to be already lined up on the runway. Now, why was he there? That's what they got to figure out. Rather than be sat on the runway, 350 wouldn't have stood a chance in that case. Wait, there are 2 turn and burn fast entry points on 3-4 right. Could they have thought they had clearance and gunned it? Maybe, Scotty, but again, that's coming to the... If it's got to be the controls got to release the records. The tower has to release all of the messages, all of the clearances that were issued. Long clearance at a high-speed taxiway, what is that? That's the high-speed exit. Those are the exits that come off the runway at 45 degrees. So you could take a high-speed at 45. Typically, they're about 45 degrees. So you can exit at a much higher rate of speed. So you can exit at 60 knots even if you got the cojones. I tend to be less than about 40 knots. Why do I always have such a hard time with the ground? Why is it ground? I don't know. I don't know why I have such a hard time with that. All right. So a high-speed taxiway, Jeremy, if we're looking at landing here in LA, 25 right, a high-speed would be Bravo 4. So you're coming down the runway, you could exit Bravo 4, or another example. Well, that's you come down the runway, and that could be a pseudo high-speed. This is kind of a pseudo high-speed here. This is a real true high-speed, but the 90 degrees are not high-speed because you got to be much slower. When you go 90 degrees. So anything that's got an angle, typically about 45 degrees, is considered a high-speed taxiway. Sometimes you'll hear on the radio, can you make the reverse high-speed? So if you miss, if let's say there's construction on Lima, this isn't really a good example. Okay, let's say you're landing east in LA, right? And there is construction at Hotel 3 and Golf. All right, so let's say those runways are closed and you're landing this direction. Well, you got to look at your landing data and you want to plan, well, I got to make Hotel 1, but let's say you land and on your rollout you're so slow that like right about here you're doing 20 knots. ATC man says, hey, can you make that reverse high-speed Hotel 6? That way you don't have to go all the way to Hotel 1. But yeah, we'll take the reverse high speed, which in that case you really got to slow down because you're going to be turning more than 90 degrees. So you like to get down to about 10 knots or so before you take a reverse high speed. But that's all that means. That's what a high-speed taxiway is. Where is the... we'll delete all that. But that's definitely part of, planning, especially low vis. Low vis is when you really start having to pay particular attention to runway exits and if there's any construction, because there may only be certain taxiways that you are authorized to taxi on when it's super low vis. The ATC I've heard seems to support the dash was supposed to be at the Charlie 5 holding point, not lined up. They still had and found the 350 CVR last report. They still haven't found it? That's kind of unnerving because the whole airplane's pretty much gone. Know what's fun? One adult, 3 kids, 2 dogs, in a car for an hour. Challenge me with a better time. Oh, well, way to ruin way to lighten up the moment there. We're in a serious mode. Yeah, we're doing the secret mission today, right, Lo? Not making the tight turn on single engine ops, it'd be tough. You can do it, but it'd be tough. Migs, thanks for the $5 super chat, man. Appreciate you again. What would emergency procedures comms look like in that situation in the 320? Oof, scary, man. So if you had no idea what happened, which they probably didn't, obviously, until it was too late. Now, there is a possibility that as the impact happened, their landing lights lit up the tail of the dash. It's also very possible that once they touch down, they realize there's an airplane in front of us, but you literally have a split second, and there's no avoiding it at that point. That 350 touching down with the nose coming down onto the ground already, and then out of nowhere you see the airplane. So there's no going around. There's no missing it. But it is possible that they knew what happened. But then it's all about directional control. I mean, from what you can tell on the video, the captain of that 350, I assume is the captain flying, could have been the first officer. I don't know their procedures, but he did a relatively good job of keeping the airplane in a positive control, right? So you just lost the nose gear completely. You're not going to be able to steer very well. You've got a little bit of differential braking, and your rudder, depending on how effective that is with the airspeed you got, to help kind of keep you in a somewhat controlled manner, right? Positive directional control. That is one of the very first things you learn as a student pilot when you're landing is positive directional control. Don't let the airplane get away from you. Keep the directional control positive and under control. So after the collision, he maintained the best control as he could. And then after you come to a stop, it's then an immediate, okay, what are the procedures? Is it if they knew they were going to evacuate right away, which I imagine they probably did. It'd be like, okay, we need to evacuate. Or the flight attendant may have called up and said there's a fire. I'm sure they had all kinds of alarms in the cockpit. Could have been engine fire alarms going off. You don't really know what was going on until you get to full-blown CVR. But it would then be an evacuation. It'd be like evacuate, however they do it. And you'd run the evac checklist, which would then, you'd start securing things from the top. You'd be securing the engine masters. You'd be shutting down the engines with the fire push buttons, which apparently the number 2 engine looked like it was still running even during the evacuation, so maybe something got severed and it could not shut down. That's also a possibility. But yeah, you'd start the evac, and you result to your lowest level of training in an emergency. So obviously, less than half the exits blocked, only 3 exits. They got everybody off. So their training was obviously sufficient, and they did a very good job of getting everybody off the airplane. Being banned by VATSIM, does that impact your VAL or other virtual ops? No, Zylibo, it doesn't. But thanks for the $5 mix. Appreciate you. Runway status lights can easily change to communicate a landing aircraft when the runway is occupied. Some runway lights, could see that happen after this? Yeah, I'm surprised. Is there no runway status lights in Haneda? That's something I don't know. You'd have to look at the actual approach chart or the runway charts in Haneda. I don't know if they have the runway status lights, the red lights that would come on in the touchdown zone and on the threshold crossing, or not the threshold, rather, the hold short bar. What is our bottom altitude? Let's go to the approach. 25 right ILS. Stop writing. Stop. No. Is there no... Am I? Oh, that's Ontario. Ah, flight pad, where you at? Two five right. Circus transit. Final approach fix is 1900 at Honda. So here we go. We'll set in 1900. Thrust idle descent. Down we go. Seatbelt signs are coming on. We're starting down on the arrival. Earlier today I saw news reports which stated the runway lights were off. Interesting. Yep, we were talking about the 7-3 and the SkyWest Metroliner. Gustavo says more important, the 350 at usual landing speed would be around 230 feet per second. Yeah, there is 0 response time for that. Would the captain be the last one off? Depends on their procedure, Scotty, too. It'd depend on their procedures. For us, I can tell you it is. In the Airbus cockpit, is it more heavily reinforced? How did the nose get that damage? Because Tucataria was higher. The nose of that 350, I think, impacted the weakest part of that dash, right? It's just a vertical stab that it would have hit because the Dash 8 has a T-tail. So if you look at the airplane, I mean, the 320 is going to be lower, but I mean, the only thing that would reach the nose of the 350 is that T-tail. It was banged in there pretty good. So the T-tail hit there. If it was a taller airplane, like if that was a 737 or greater, it would have been a tragic, just absolute, even worse disaster because it would have been higher up. But because the Dash 8 is a relatively small airplane, the only thing that nose hit, in my opinion, looking at the damage, was that T-tail, which quickly then sheared off. And as the nose pushed up that fuselage, the engines then went right into the wings of that Dash 8, igniting the fuel and creating that absolute massive fireball. Look at this shot, though. Goodness. These frames are so smooth. This is next level smoothness out here. Greetings from Tenerife. Speaking of disasters, greetings, good evening. Paris Charles de Gaulle is the only airport outside of the U.S. with runways. Really? Wow. Did you hear about the Northwest 74 coming out of Tokyo back in the 80s? One of the teachers I had in college was a pilot on that flight. Which one, the Aviator? What happened to that? I have recently finished my project writing about the development of supersonic flight. Would you like me to email you a PDF copy? It's about 11K words in length. Sure, Dale. Send it, man. I'll take a look at it. Definitely get a little bit of light chop on the descent. All right, let's go ahead and set up the rest of the airplane. We'll get our LS push buttons on. Constraints are on. We need to do our destination data. So we'll come here and we'll go ahead and pull up the weather. Why'd you get banned from VATSIM? I only can imagine it's because they didn't like my name, alias, which was legit. But I think, I mean, it could have been something else, but I don't know what it could have been. No, what am I trying to do? Yeah, weather request, METAR only. Frame gen did not work for me, but I got the freezing to stop on my PMDGs by closing Volanta. Ooh, interesting, Chris. Stephen. Alright. What's ironic, though, or not ironic, oh no. Is, you know, the fact that, what the hell? Oh, it won't pull it up anymore? Is that a thing? Is that still broken, I guess? Alright. Well, there's more than one way to do this. Arrival. A refresh, yeah. 270 at 19, 16, and 3002. Barrel mins for 25 left are. Come on, Navigator. I ain't got time for this. I want to look at all this juice down there. Look at those clouds. This is real life. Barrel mins are 304. You think I know that by now. I've landed in LA a lot. All right, visual approach 25 left is set. 304 in the minimum. ILS 1099 auto tune. Final approach course is 251. 304, it's in the glass. Touchdown zone is 100 feet. We'll call it 1,000 feet stable. Make a right-hand turn off, one runway to cross. I have terrain up on my side since we will be descending into some mountainous terrain. We're set up to come down to 1,900 feet. We are looking absolutely juicy. Yeah, back to the VATSIM thing. Well, we were talking about the Japan thing, but yeah, VATSIM. I would imagine that's what it was for. So, long story short, I had a long time ago, before I was a streamer, I had all my personal information, like normal. And then when I became a streamer, I was like, well, I'm going to use an actual alias that I use, legit. They didn't like it. They banned that account because the email didn't match the name. So I'm like, okay, kind of weak, but I understand. So I also thought at that time, since I was becoming a public streamer, that it'd be a good idea to run everything through the same alias. VATSIM, Pilot Edge, well, you name it. Any like work emails, anything. So I created a new account, legit email with a recovery number, got a new account for VATSIM, and it's been fine for 4 years. And then I submitted a compliment report to the controller in Aruba. And apparently when I submitted that compliment report, somebody who read that decided that my name is not legit, even though it has legit email and it's all legit, and they decided to ban me. Now that is my assumption. I said I could log into the email. I have to do some more recovery on it though, because in early 2020s, 21, 22, around there, I had a new number, got a new phone number. So the only way to recover that Gmail account was through that number, which I can't obviously receive text messages from because I don't have that number anymore. So I would then have to create a new account and then go through the process again, which I might end up doing after the stream. But that's the long story short. But, I mean, it's just ridiculous. Wingnut, why do you need to dox yourself to play a video game online? Stupid. I agree, Wingnut. And it's to the point where, like, I would almost understand if I was doing things like not good, like trolling or, you know, stretching the boundaries of VATSIM. But I legit, what did I just say like 3 or 4 days ago on stream? It was like, I want to spend 2024 as a year to make VATSIM a better place by dedicating video and content to making people more confident and more knowledgeable about how to properly use VATSIM and properly set up audio levers on your microphone. And I guess that was received by an Instaban. Now, that's theory A. Theory B is that Mike P said it was run by PMDG, and they have it out for me. That's theory B, according to Mike P. I'm not going to rule it out. I wouldn't be surprised, but I don't know. Or theory C is that somebody just doesn't like me on VATSIM, and they went ahead and did that. So the thing is, I mean, how many people do you know that go by a different name? I know people that go by different names that are legit. You can legit have an alias. You can have a legit different name. That's why when you go buy a gun, it asks you, do you have any other aliases? Like, it's legit. So I'm sorry, VATSIM. Let me get out my social security number, my credit card information, my birth certificate. I'll put it on so I can play by your rules so we can play a video game and all get along. Like, why don't you worry about the trolls in their basement throwing out racial slurs to other content creators on the thing, or people coming out and just using profanity? Like, why don't you put the effort in that? But no. Let's go ahead and ban the guy that's trying to make it a better place. Makes total sense to me. I didn't think I was going to get that fired up about that, but no, it just, when I think about, because I think about the people that do troll and the people that do toxic stuff on VATSIM, and it just, that makes my blood boil. But there never seems to be any repercussion for that stuff. But that's just the injustices of life. Nobody said, life was fair, I guess. Makes a lot of sense if you don't think about it. Ay, ay, ay. Bunch of Timmy's, Rain Man. I have two names, my English one and my Japanese one. There you go, Steven. Yeah, I know, man. I know. All right, let's go ahead and set the magic barrel ref key. 3000 is set. Everything else looks good. Yeah. My word, look at this, chat. The frames right now are so amazing. What we might do, should I use a, maybe we should get a Pilot Edge account and do a GA stream tonight. Maybe we should extend the olive branch to Pilot Edge. I always respect a good debate, and I think it's healthy, especially in this time and place in our current world, is if you disagree with someone, be open to debating about it, be open to discussing differences of opinion, right? So, Pilot Edge had a big difference of opinion. I even made a video about it. I got some emails directly from the head cheese that was pissed off about it. They could have banned me. They never did. They just moved on. So I got to respect that. Maybe I didn't agree with the situation that happened, but, to just their first step is ban. Like, you'll see even in the comments on these videos, I let people go off and, attack the message, not the messenger. But then to just come out and just go ban people, I don't know. Seems sus. Dale hit the nail on the head. What do you say? The 8-year-old ignoring ATC because they're Air Force One apparently. Send a nice message like to controller. Banned. Yes, indeed, man. Indeed, Dale Farrier. Ay, ay, ay. It was the guy that got butthurt when you declared an emergency in Vegas. That's still okay. Hey, that was funny. I mean, look, I was in the wrong. I'll be the first to tell you I was in the wrong. I had no idea that was in the rule of conduct. I had no idea you could not declare an emergency when there was not a controller online. To me, that doesn't make any sense, because if there's not a controller online, then nobody's around you. Okay. I stood corrected. I revoked my emergency situation in Vegas. But yeah, that was that was funny. That was funny. I was clearly in the wrong. I'm not saying I was right. I was clearly in the wrong, and I will accept that. But that was just a funny moment on VATSIM, dude. That was one of my few, is this real life? Is this actually happening right now? Anyway, here we go. Let's get all our lights on. We're going through 10,000 feet. Remember, this will be a great test for frame generation. Going into the INI LAX with this type of, oh my, look at this. Look at this. Smash the like button for these clouds. Are you not amazed by this sim? Look at this. This legit looks better than real life. I say it all the time. Chuck Blake dropping a massive $50 super chat. Chuck Blake, I appreciate you, man. I don't see a message with that massive dono, but that is very kind. I see your V1 status bars. I know you've been a supporter of the channel for a long time, and I really appreciate it. Chuck Blake, thank you for that $50 super chat. Very kind of you, sir. V2 plus 10. Don't acknowledge latest ATIS. Banned. The frame generation mod, there's a lot of YouTube content out there. Basically, it enables frame generation for all RTX cards that don't support it natively. Do a Google search, do a YouTube search, and it'll give you more information. We're on Approach right now. I'm not going to dive into it, but it's taken my system from, I think I need a whole new rig, to I think I'm set until the 5 Series cards come out. Step 1, read rules. V1, nah. Look, I read the rules, but Steve, you got to remember, I've had that account for almost 5 years. So I'm sorry that I forgot about not declaring an emergency when no controller is online from 4 years. Was that even in there 4 years ago? I am convinced you are the 737NG for Microsoft Flight Simulator. What do you mean? I've always been taught growing up to take an investigative approach first before I take a defensive approach and acknowledge what I don't know. Very true, Jeremy. That is a great way to go about life as well, in all things, whether it's personal opinions or even, if a first officer says you're wrong, Cap, like I'm not going to get offended. Right? I'd be like, oh, okay, well, maybe I don't. Let me tell me where I'm like show me, because if I am indeed wrong, which it is very possible, I have been wrong a lot. I need to know more behind it. Now, when the FO proceeds to go off and explain to me why I can get full speed brakes on a 320 with the autopilot on, and he says that I'm wrong, and I'm like, I'll let him do his explanation for 5 minutes, and then I'll say, well, here in the book it shows you the 320 with the autopilot on limits your speed brake to half, not close to the 319, 321. But not that that's ever happened. Anyway, here we go. We're at a 10, 7.7 on the approach. El Matador, it's not for everyone. You will get some issues depending on your setup, but I will tell you this. It is such a game changer for certain people that it's worth trying, as long as you make a system restore point. Do a system restore point before you do anything. That way, if it does mess it up, just revert back and let it be. But it has been such a game changer for myself that I gotta use it, man. More FO stories for the podcast. What's that? FDK Dak. You're not the Dak Prescott of the Dallas Cowboys, are you? Welcome to Private Pilot, man. Glad to have you on board. Thank you for the support. We have not captured glide slope in Loke, so here we go. Let's get back on task here. A pro pilot move coming into LA. We would have already been cleared for the approach 25 left via the transition. We are still 22 miles out. I always wait to arm everything up until we get at least inside of 20 in the real airplane. Here inside of Microsoft Flight Sim, I might wait till we're down inside of 15 miles. You can see here we're not even picking up any glide slope signal yet. But especially LA, you know, it's if you arm it at 50 miles and you capture that low, you're going to be S-turning all the way across the final, which is not very pleasant for anybody in the back. And even though it's small, like, it'd be hard to notice, but it's noticeable enough once you notice it. Kind of like, for me, the fly-by-wire cockpit before they had the update. It's like I never noticed the thing was not at the right angle until someone pointed it out. And then I couldn't stop seeing it. So same thing when you intercept the Loke at 40-plus miles. You may not notice that you're weaving, but then once you realize that you feel a little bit of left and right, it's like, okay, I can't do this. Keep it in LNAV, keep it in nav, and then once you get down a little bit closer, we'll arm it all up. But we're all the way down to 1900. We can go ahead and select speed here, too. We've just flew through the decel point. That's why we already started slowing down. Let's go ahead and select 180, and then we'll go flaps 1. That was a stutter back there, so I assume the INI have just loaded in. We're below VFE speed. Let's go ahead and extend flaps 1. All right, so now you can see we are about 16 miles. I would say we're close enough. So let's go ahead and arm the approach push button and autopilot 2. Glide slope blue, Loke blue, glide slope star, Loke star, Cat 3 dual, autopilot 1+2. We're all synced up, and you see that. That's pretty true to real life, too. The airplane would do that, so sometimes I wait until they're almost perfectly aligned and then arm it up. Once we're below VFE next, let's go ahead and extend flaps 2. Oh, we never got flight recorder out. Get the replay up. There we go. So now I'm back on this. So whenever I do that, whenever I click off the screens, that's when you guys see the artifacts and like the stutterish. I'm gonna go ahead and start the recording now. Recording is started. So there we go. Now I'm back on the main monitor. Everything should be juicy. Man, that was a sweet. Let's just look at the clouds and the. Oh my goodness, this sim, man. Happy New Year, right back at you, Mark. Cactus Ops made me think of the Captain Dave from Flight Level 390 blog back in the day. He won a close second. Why do commercial airlines have 3 autopilots? Well, they don't always have to. We have 2. We don't have 3, we have 2. Chuck Blake dropping 20 gifted memberships. Chuck Blake, very, very kind. He says, I'm running behind on membership subscriptions. A whole slew of y'all just picked up a membership from Chuck Blake. Make sure you say thank you. shout them out. I'm going to go ahead and hide the alert box. We're going to go ahead and get into tiller cam here for our Throttletek cam for approach. Chuck Blake, very kind of you. Thank you, sir. Oh, there we go. There was a nice, that was a hard stutter there. That was going in. But we're loaded in. Look at that. Look at downtown. I guess we could look at the replay on this.
2,500.
All right, 500 feet. We're going to drop the gear here. Oh, my. Because I've never seen, the visibility is perfect. We can see downtown today. Chuck Blake, you madman. I probably should go auto brakes low. I don't have the tactical flip-flops installed. The smog is light. The visibility is fantastic. Oh my! I could sit. We gotta. You know, so I want to watch the flight sim, not the wing view. All right, we're through 2,000 feet. Manage speed. Gear down. Spoilers armed. With the headphones on, with my new headphones, I can't even hear that. VFE next. We're right at the limit. Minus 10 flaps 3. From the south. Mike P. VFE next, minus 10 flaps, full landing checklist. I can't wait for IAE flaps 40. Be so nice. What a stunning approach. All right, right now frames are looking good. All right, we're slowing down. We're on speed. Landing checklist. Cabin crew advised auto thrust is speed. Auto brakes are off. ECAM memo landing all green. Landing checklist is complete. Autopilot's coming off. Let's go ahead and we'll leave the auto thrust on. We haven't done an auto thrust on in a while. Let's see how it does, because I'm hoping this will be our last CFM auto thrust flight. Maybe we'll have a V2 Block 2 by the next time we stream. Who knows? So this will be a good measuring stick. 1,000 feet, stable, clear to land. It's a little windy out there today. A little shifty and gusty. This is the 10th last CFM flight. All right, still cockpit. I gotta stop reading chat. Everyone's like, well, you don't land on shuttle line. You're not a real pilot. Well, it's because in real life I'm not looking at a chat box. It's 500 people. Try to be pro pilot. Here we go. We're 1,000. We're stable. Our gear is down. That reminded me. I had a nightmare last night that we went around because the gear wasn't down. That's how you know when you're a pilot. I woke up like freaked out. I was like, oh, gear. I didn't even fly yesterday. All right, pay attention.
Hundred above.
Slipped out of that wind there a little bit. It is a little. It must be a little gusty. Dang.
Minimum.
We are dealing with it here a little bit. Whoa, whoa, come back. We're the pappies, we're looking good.
100. 50. 40. 30. 20. Retard.
Oh, kiss it, I really wanted the butter. Nope, I ran out of juice. Felt good though. Felt good. Spoilers. Reverse is green. A manual braking. We're just gonna let it roll. I'm not even gonna touch the brakes. I do this in real life a lot here too on this Hotel 6. We'll just take the next one. 70 knots. No need to rip the nose wheel. I'm making that. We'll just take the next turn. So we go 40 knots. Yeah, this isn't a true high speed. I mean, it kind of is because it's not 90, but... Oh. A 0? Oh, yeah, that was pretty buttery. I'll take a 0. I'll take a 0. We got to see the replay. We'll have to see if it's a legit 0 or not. We're going to go ahead and cross... hold on, I think we're going to stop the recording because this will help. I'm going to stop the recording. All right, but with frame gen, we're doing really pretty good, actually. We're going to go ahead and cross 25 right, and then we'll go ahead and reconfigure after landing. Is that a 7.8 I see over there? Clear right, clear to cross, clear left, clear to cross. Here we go. A 0 is technically impossible. Well, unless it only measures in ones of feet. We'll take Charlie. Normally they give you the other one, but I kind of want to attempt. This is the international terminal where I always have issues when I look at it. So with frame gen, I kind of want to see how our frames are when we pull up to it. This is one of my nemesis gates here, this international terminal. But actually, my stutters are very much reduced on the ground. Like normally I get that when I'm turning on the ground. I don't know if it's coming through for you guys, but I think this has actually been really smooth. Let's do it. For science, we're going to park at my nemesis gate. I know you wouldn't park here in a 320. But we're going to park at my nemesis gate. So everything frames are good, and then watch. As soon as I face this terminal building. I don't know. That's pretty darn smooth. I mean, that is the game changing. That I mean, look how smooth it is. So I might have to actually. I might even adjust my, because I can see stuff popping a little bit. I might increase. What is that? Objects off screen or whatever. Oh, we've got our A320 thing here. Let's follow this. Wow, those numbers are tiny. Oh, brakes are set. Ladies and gentlemen, wow, that's pretty good. I mean, let me go to no camera cam just to see. Frames are pretty darn good, man. Let me go out of curiosity here. Hopefully this doesn't crash the stream. Let me try this. All right, everything is still live. Let me pull up. Dang it! I'm gonna pin this. So right now, man, I wish I could see it. So at the gate, 41 FPS. When I look at this terminal, 31 FPS, 33. So even though this is my nemesis gate, I'm still getting 33, 39 frames now that we're in the cockpit. Before frame gen, looking at this gate specifically, I was in the low teens, or high teens rather. So that is pretty good. I'm at 42 FPS, CPU is at 49, GPU at 32%. My RAMs are split almost equally, 45% each. I'm happy with that, honestly. I'm really happy with that. All right, let's go ahead and turn that off. Get rid of you, unpin that. All right, let's check out the replay. What did I miss over here? Well, Mike pieced up. Parks at wrong terminal, wonders why banned. Oh my god. All right, let's go right into replay mode. We'll go flaps. I think we were right about flaps 2 when that started. And now this will be the new test. Is how is our replay going to load in? How is our replay going to load in with all this extra stuff? This is what makes me nervous. You know, you start adding all these different things to the sim in the background. No VATSIM disconnect required. No VATSIM disconnect. Hey guys, did I disconnect from VATSIM? Let's check the replay. Oh, I forgot to disconnect from VATSIM. Just kidding. Fractality says I'm nervous too. Well, let's see what happens. I'm gonna pull it up and see how that is actually working. So it immediately slewed back in real time, Fractality. And it's working as intended. It's reading the proper altitudes and everything. That's pretty cool. All right, let's keep it on this screen so we keep the frame gen going on this screen. Actually, I'll leave y'all with a long one at the end. What we need to do is we need to do the landing first, and then I'll sign off. We'll assess the landing. Just let it come on down. Right about here. We'll let it load in. It's gonna take a minute. The King Kong was timed out by Team Vodka. What are you doing, Team Vodka? I don't even need to know. Resume replay. All right, let's see how we did on the landing. B. Walker, welcome to Private Pilot. Aviator Nick, sorry I haven't said hi to you. Aviator Nick, no radio calls. No radio calls required. So now the question is, do we fire up the old Pilot Edge? Do we do a Pilot Edge TBM and chill? I think tonight might be a great opportunity for TBM and chill. We might have to do it because if you haven't joined a TBM and chill stream yet, it's late night members only party. We might have to do a TBM and chill tonight. Might as well try Beyond ATC. I will look. Here's the thing, Nick. I've heard a lot.
Too low terrain.
Whoop! I've heard a lot of people.
Terrain.
Hey, why are you interrupting me, Jipwiz? Ain't nobody got time for a Jipwiz here.
Too low terrain.
I tell you what, you're too low. How about that? I gotta look. I have to seriously look, and I don't even know what it is. But a lot of people have asked me about Beyond ATC. I don't even know what it is. PC-12s. Ooh. PC-12. They had an update too. Let's hope VATSIM doesn't reconnect you while landing. All right, let's see how we did outside.
100.
Well, now I wanted to float it more for more butter, but I was like, I gotta set her down. It wasn't a 0. It was probably a 150-ish, I'd say. Well, it wasn't bad. Now, the one thing with frame gen, like when you land, my wheels do weird artifact thingies, but that doesn't bother me at all. Matter of fact, you probably could turn it off. Probably could turn it off for a replay, but don't even really need it, huh? Restow that. All right, there we go. Had my spoilers armed. All right. Still pretty darn smooth, if you ask me. We'll watch this one, and then I'll do a flyby view, and then that'll be it. Happy Fishy, thanks for the $2 super chat. What happened with VATSIM? They banned me. They banned me because, I don't know, I assume it was because they didn't like my alias setup. Not bad, though. Oh, actually, wait, hold on. Still the reverser. Don't want you to pop out. Stop. Let's do this. Aww, breakaway. Where'd we touch down at? We're definitely legal. A little bit floaty for sure, I will admit. But I wanted more of a butter. We'll put it right about here. And then we'll turn on this. Rotation speed will juice you up, and we'll turn that off. Last one. Aviator Nick gifting 5 more memberships. Ooh, they'll be able to join the TBM and chill party. Aviator Nick, appreciate you, man. Thank you for the support. If you pick up a membership from Aviator Nick, make sure you say thank you. Very kind of you, sir. That wasn't bad at all. Center line, pretty much bang on. Pretty much bang on. Alright. What the hell? Let's leave y'all with a nice long one, real life status. Let it load in here. We'll go to the wing view for a little bit. That's going to do it for today's stream for now. We might double up later tonight. I'm feeling froggy. We'll do another one tonight, I think. Mix, another 5 gifted membership. Mix, too kind of you. Thank you, sir. Appreciate the support. If you pick up a membership from Migs, make sure you say thank you as well. Thank you for all the support today, y'all. I appreciate it from the gifted memberships, the massive donos. I know Team Vodka, Blake, Migs, Aviator Nick, Chuck Blake dropping another 10 gifted memberships. Jeez. Appreciate you. Too kind. Too kind. Appreciate you so much, Chuck Blake. You guys are awesome. This is why I do this streaming. I mean, the support that you guys provide me for the channel, provide you content, it keeps the motor rolling, keeps the motor going for sure. Mad Cat, welcome to Commercial Pilot as well. Thank you. The memberships keep coming in. I can't thank you all enough for the support. I'm trying to sign off, but I will always say thank you. So if I missed your name for any support, I appreciate you. I'm sorry about that. If you do not support monetarily, I love you all just as much. Thank you for hitting the like button. We got the likes up over 400 today. So awesome. We'll be back maybe tomorrow, maybe later tonight. But we got some more streaming to do this week. I got more airplanes we need to fly. So appreciate you. Stay safe, stay healthy. Until the next one, I'm V1. See yous in chat. Look at downtown LA, looking so good. I'm at it. All right. See you.
$100.